Should these close losses be a red flag for the Cowboys in contract negotiations with Dak?
Boy, I've never seen a person smile without smiling. You over there laughing at this. No, this shouldn't be a red flag for the Cowboys in terms of negotiations with Dak Prescott, second most wins since he's been in the league. You pay winners in the NFL. This is a problem, though. I want to make sure I start off my argument by saying no team is perfect. And no player is perfect. I talked to you about the positive attributes and the negative attributes that we used to get in our weekly game plan, no matter who the opponent was, whether it was a Tom Brady or a Peyton Manning, all the way down to a guy you never heard of. Everyone had a two-sided sheet, positives and negatives. And if you look at a team in its entirety, you will see the same thing, positives and negatives. We saw the Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs, have a negative attribute list, and it was a lot focused on the defensive side. They shored that up, especially latter part of the season, and all of a sudden, you see the Kansas City Chiefs win.
I can see it in your face. He know he's about to take an L this block.
Really? You trying to redeem yourself from yesterday? Go ahead, I'm done. I ain't even going to hit you with my full screen yet. That ain't coming. The point of it is, let's focus in on Dak.
Focus.
And you try to say, oh, Dak got a problem. Dak got a real problem he can't fix. He can't win one-score games, even though Dak Prescott is a winner in one-score games, 19 and 14 in one-score games. So my first layer for you is every team has an issue they need to fix. Dak of late, and there's only one common denominator what's going on in these one-score drives. Kellen Moore, you need to win first down. And two,
sorry, America. Sorry, America.
And two, the players have to understand.
Kellen Moore's fault. That's Kellen Moore's fault.
Kellen Moore's fault. And two, the players have to understand there's a long history of success, even though of late they've been trending downward.
Marcellus, when I walk through the aisles at Walmart or Target, I see a ton of games. I see.
That's how you watch the games.
No.
It makes sense.
You might see Tetris.
It shows.
You might see Connect Four. You might see Monopoly.
Okay.
But what I haven't seen as of late is the blame game. And I haven't seen that because I guess you haven't copywritten it yet. But what you just tried to play is the blame game.
I gave you reasons.
It's Kellen Moore's fault now, even though they just got rid of Jason Garrett. Let me give you some reasons. Let me give you some facts. Let me give you some nuggets. I don't mind quarterbacks having negative attributes. I don't mind. People said that Drew Brees was too short. People said that Drew Brees' arm wasn't strong enough. People said that Peyton Manning wasn't mobile. But your negatives can't be losing one-score games. America, I'm going to let y'all sound smart at the water cooler.
Who said that?
24% of games in the NFL are decided by 3 points or less.
Less than a quarter.
50% of games in the NFL are decided by one possession. Yeah. The only thing that a quarterback must be good at is one possession.
That's it?
Games. If you're talking about something of being, think about the Seattle Seahawks. 11 of their 12 games were won by one possession. The NFL, everybody talks about defend a blade of grass. That's what you say in the locker rooms. Because it comes down to something as small as a blade of grass. The great teams, they win close games. The not great teams, they lose close games. It's not a coincidence. Think about the greatest team, the greatest dynasty of our generation, the New England Patriots. Been to 9 Super Bowls under Belichick and Tom Brady. All but one of those Super Bowls were decided by one possession or less. All but one, Marcellus.
I heard you the first time.
Yeah, you didn't hear. You heard me, but you weren't listening.
It ain't going to feel any different the second time.
You heard me, but you weren't listening. If you're not good at one-score games, then you're not a good team. Great teams are good in the last minutes. But furthermore, remember there was a coach who said he saw a receiver making a great diving catch in practice.
Don't you be stealing my stories.
Making a great diving catch in practice. And he said, if you would have run faster, you wouldn't have had to dive, boy. Wouldn't have had to dive.
Yes.
The problem is, Cowboys, if y'all would have played better, if y'all would have run faster, you wouldn't even have to dive. But before I end this first lap, let me put you on the canvas with one little note. The only quarterbacks worse than Dak Prescott in one-score games are his backup Andy Dalton, 0-6. This is as of last year. Phillip Rivers, who was 2-10. Flacco, 1-4. Jameis Winston, 3-6. 3 of those 4 guys are currently backups. Marcellus, Wiley. And the other one is Phillip Rivers, who throws more picks than he has kids. Go ahead.
Oh, wow. I can't believe you walked into every trap I have. You always know this. Let me help you out.
Please,
if I don't start off with facts, I'm setting traps. And your butt walked into every trap I got set. So now I'm sitting here, oh my God, which one to pick? I'm going to pick this one right here. Mike McCarthy comes out and says, you guys love to spin it. Like, oh, you're losing a lot of close games, and spin it as a negative. But you can also spin that as a positive. They're in a lot of close games, right? And then you took that and conflated it and made it an argument for Russell Wilson. And you said Russell Wilson won 11 games by one possession last year. Amazing Russell Wilson. Okay, it's time for a full screen since you want to go there. Full screen king time. Let's talk about winning time since Russell Wilson getting all the props for winning and game-winning drives in the last 4 years. I wonder where Dak Prescott lands on this list next to Mr. Last Minute, Last Drive, one game, one score possessions. Where's Dak's name in relationship to Russell Wilson? Oh, right there. Now take me off full screen. Here's the funny thing.
What's the funny thing?
You just told me that it's about winning and winning those close ones. Who has the second most wins since they've been in the league? Dak Prescott. Who has a winning record in one-score games? Dak Prescott. And then you're going to bring up lowly dudes like Andy Dalton and all those guys who are behind him. Those guys are not even in the conversation. Who's in the conversation of being clutch? Russell Wilson may be the poster child, but Dak Prescott has earned it by the merit and by the numbers. Same dude.
Let me get loose for this beat down I'm about to lay on you.
Okay.
America, here's what I let Marcellus off the hook doing yesterday, but I can't let him off the hook doing today.
I'm here.
Marcellus, these inflated numbers that you just gave me,
They're
you want to
real.
know where they arrived? 2016, that 13-3 season that Dak Prescott had. He went 7-2 in close games that year.
Yeah.
The majority.
I said 19. That is 7 the majority of 19.
33%. 33%.
Majority
33%.
Texas. Come on, Texas.
Move on. Let me get to my point. Here's my problem, Marcellus.
What?
Stop living in the past. I had to clap on you in between them words because that's how hard I mean about it. That's how hard I mean about it. Stop living in the past, bro.
Okay, let's go to week 2 then. Let's go to week 2.
Dak Prescott, Marcellus, he inherited a Super Bowl caliber team.
That won 4 games before he got there?
They were 3-1 under Tony Romo.
And what happened?
Romo got hurt.
How did they finish?
Because Kellen Moore started and he went 0-2.
I know you hate numbers, but what was the final record?
Why? Because
are you allergic to numbers?
Their starting quarterback got hurt. Marcellus, you live your life based on an inflation of statistics. You live your life married to this man, Dak Prescott.
He rich
married
too.
to this man because of the inflation of some numbers. Live in reality, Marcellus. Dak Prescott was 1-6 last year. 1-6 last year in games decided by 1 point or less. The NFL is a league decided by 1 possession or less. Your quarterback, Dak Prescott, is 1-6 in those games. He is in the same sentence as Jameis. But let's talk about the flip. The flip side is, let's talk about the quarterbacks who play close games as well. Aaron Rodgers last year, he was 8-1. Russell Wilson, I told you, he was 10-2 including the playoffs. Lamar Jackson, he was 5-1. Deshaun Watson, he was 8-3 in those close games.
None of them dudes did anything in winning
all those dudes were in the playoffs.
Yeah. So what? Dak Prescott he's won a division twice. Hold on. You just told me that if you lose your starting quarterback, what's going to happen? You're not going to win games. Matt Castle. Anybody like Matt Castle? Line 1, New England. Don't make this an argument about facts because you'll lose it. Don't make this an argument about numbers. You'll lose that. If you want to go story time campfire, I am here for you. But these numbers suggest that Dak Prescott is once again not getting the consideration for being as clutch as he's been in his entire career.
The numbers are dated.
You cannot marry him.
The numbers are dated. Marcellus, in 2016, you were on another show at another network. I don't care how that show rated. I'm sorry. I don't care. I care about what did you do here in the present day. Stop telling me about Dak Prescott when he played with Des Bryant. Please.
My favorite part about just working with you is the fact that you can push back and then I can go to a different lane. So now I'm going to go into your logic. Let's not live in the past. So let's throw out the numbers from last year. That wasn't the same coach. That's the past, right? Let's talk about this year. And only you have is 1 game as a sample size.
Correct.
1. And this was a team that was 3 of 12 on third down. What is third down called in? Money down. All they did was put themselves at a disadvantage in the money down. We cannot now create this long argument that's negative for Dak if we're going to look in the past. Because if you look in the past, you can't just grab last year.
That's fair.
You got to grab his whole career. Or let's cut it off, say that was 1 game and an anomaly because This is a guy who is right there with Russell Wilson, but you don't want to give him that credit.
Let me ask you this, because let's stop arguing for a second for the sake of TV, and let's just be real. Cameras aren't even there. They're not even here. Just me and you.
Oh,
just me and you having a real
conversation. Pick my nose, then.
Go ahead. Me and you having a real conversation.
What's up?
The 0-1 the one game that Dak Prescott lost, is that not more indicative of his last year's struggles as opposed to his 2016 success? The Rams game that we just saw, it's just me and you. Don't lie to the cameras.
Don't lie to the camera.
We're already on commercial break.
Okay.
It's just me and you.
Yeah.
The one game he lost to the Rams, is that not much more indicative of last season?
Yeah.
Or are you going to go draw from 2016 to undermine what we saw against the Rams?
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to draw from 2016 for two reasons. I know. See, that's why I can't. First of all, you remind me of my wife. As soon as I say something, she goes, oh, boy, I hate this dude. I'm like, baby, we're going to be together forever. So you might as well start liking me, damn it. If you look at Dak Prescott, what changed? There's two things that I have to hang my hat on. One, you have a new head coach. And the integration of head coach to offensive coordinator is a thing.
Absolutely.
Like, what plays you calling? You sure? And then that translates on the field for Dak. So Dak is still learning a new language, even though it's the same OC. Remember, if you talk about Dak learning his new head coach and new system fully, was a month ago. So this is not continuity as it's being termed. The second thing is Dak Prescott, when he was thrown into the fire before in 2016, wasn't fully prepared for that moment, went out there and balled out. All I'm saying is if you get a draw on the road against the Rams in the new stadium, no fans, and you get that defense, it's going to be tough sledding when you have no continuity.
So let me ask you this. How long will you stay on this ludicrous argument? Like, if the
long as the number suggests
if the Cowboys are 0-3, if they lose another close one to the Falcons and lose another close one to the Seahawks, are you still going to sit here babbling about, well, back in 2016, Dak Prescott was, how long? I just want to know.
I'm going to do it until he has a losing record in those moments. So far, he's far from having that same losing record. Did I win?
No,
all right, whatever.